morning, everybody. How you doing? Sean Lutz coming to you from my home studio here in Dallas, Texas. Today is November 19th, 2025. This is going to be episode number 15 from Sea to Light Sports, Detroit Red Wings, NHL update. Let's just jump right into it, folks. Last night, Little Caesars Arena, we had Seattle cranking come crack-a-lacking into the Detroit Little Caesars Arena to square off the Red Wings, fresh off of our victory the other night in regulation. See if we can keep this streak going, folks. But let's just jump right into it. In the first, it was another good start from our Red Wings here. We had our legs early. We took away time and space. It was a really tight period. Back and forth, we had opportunities. Not a whole heck of a lot of space. Both teams are pretty stingy. But there was some back and forth play. Not a whole heck of a lot action, but it was nice to see the overall 5-on-5 play. It was tight all the way down and pretty much mistake-free until the closing minutes where Simon Evanson got a little bit too aggressive. They call us in at the Cardinal Sin era, the 1902. So they're on the power play where Eberle scored at the 1902 mark, I should say, on the power play, giving Seattle a 1-0 lead there with the closing seconds into the first period. So let's move on into the first. Wings down by 1. That late period goal, we forgot about it during intermission. We're at home. But early, you had Lucas Raymond, bam, at 1:19 mark in. Bamo ties it up at 1-1. Assist once to DeBrincat and Mo Sider. And then a few seconds later, he had Nate Danielson coming down. And he nets his first NHL goal here for the Red Wings, giving the Detroit a 2-1 lead at the 2:04 mark. That was bam, bam, 2 quick goals like that for the Red Wings, giving us a 2-1 lead. And it looked like we had the 3-1 lead a couple minutes later, where a sweet move by Danielson. You can look at the highlights of this one. That's going to be the future of the Detroit Red Wings right there, man. That kid's got some hands. But that was a sweet goal. Would have been 3-1, but after review, man, it was a tight one. And like they were saying, it went for a long review, and the longer it goes, it usually goes against you, and it did. They ended up waving that off for being a hair offsides, and it really was. It was a right call, but nonetheless, erased that goal. But it would have been a highlight reel goal for him and a cool second goal. But so instead of 3-1, a few minutes later, you had Seattle Evans knotting it up at 2 apiece, where it stayed for a few minutes. Detroit was looking pretty good, but we had Finney, ending his drought on the power play and getting a goal here, looking good at the 10:56 mark, giving Detroit a 3-2 lead in the third period. The rest of it played out with the Detroit, with the continued relentless pursuit of the puck, good play in the neutral zone and in our own zone. Good 5-man unit overall play in all 3 zones, really, and not a whole lot of mistakes or breakdowns. For the rest of the period, it was a 3-2 there at the end of 2. Heading into the third period, it was the same way for the whole third period. There was like not a lot of time and space. Some punches, some chances, but not really a whole heck of a lot. A lot of junk, but a lot of times man, we looked great on the puck possession. And there was at one juncture I was actually counting. I was like, no, we're not on the power play. I was actually counting how many defenders they had, and it was even strength. And we were looking like a really good puck possession team, moving it around. That's good to see, real good to see. But nonetheless, that stingy kind of play continued on for the entire third period, where Dylan Larkin gets stamped the netter there for with Seattle trying to get the equalizer there with their goaltender pulled. Dylan Larkin gets the empty netter, giving the Detroit the 4-2 lead at the 1930 mark. That sealed a deal for the Detroit Red Wings with the 4-2 final. But way to go, Larkin, man. That was your 600th point. That was awesome. Way to get it. And a great game, by the way, whether you made the score sheet or not. I mean, anybody, the whole team, I think the whole team gets a B plus. Probably an A minus, but hey, I'm tough. I'm tough on that, man. I got high expectations. But let's move on. That was a great victory, the second in a row, and an important regulation win too. So let's just look at these pretty quickly here. From last night, you had Toronto over St. Louis 3-2 in overtime. You had Tampa Bay over New Jersey 5-1. These guys are moving up, and then you have the New York Islanders over Dallas 3-2. And make note, that's who we play next tomorrow, where they roll into Little Caesars Arena, and New York Islanders into town tomorrow. And then further out west, and continuing on here real quick, you had Las Vegas over the New York Rangers 3-2. And then way out west there, you have San Jose over Utah. That was 3-2 in overtime. And then tonight in the NHL, let's just look at this real quickly. Not a lot of action. You got this doubleheader that's on TNT, and then also streamed on HBO Max and True TV. But anyway, you got Edmonton at Washington at 7 o'clock Eastern. Calgary at Buffalo at 7:30 Eastern. Carolina at Minnesota at 9:30 Eastern. That's the second game on the doubleheader on Wednesday night hockey on TNT, 9:30 Eastern. And then way out west there, you have Boston at Anaheim at 10 p.m. Eastern. Let's see what these teams, because like I say, man, all the parity in the league, and while we're speaking of parity, you with Boston playing way out west and how things are tight, let's take a look at our Atlantic Division in the standings. Here we go. Look at the top three there. All three original six teams, man. I love seeing those. It's cool to have the 4 of the original 6 teams in the Atlantic Division. But you can see how tight that is there in the Atlantic. And then move on quickly to the Eastern Conference there to see how tight it is, from the top down. I'm not going to talk a whole heck of a lot, but you can just see how tight the points are. It's going to be that way for the rest of the season. And then glancing at the wild card, look at that, man. You got from the East, you got the top 3, and again, I'm only looking at the East. I don't care about the West until later. But this is just how tight the Eastern Conference is. The Eastern Conference and the wild card race. But you see the Atlantic and the Metropolitan with the top 3 in there. But note that even if they're in the top 3, if you look down into the points in the wild card, that those teams in the wild card and how close they are, a win every other night, you're going to see those. Even like mentioning like Boston, if they win tonight, boom, they move them. That moves them up. But that's how tight it is in the Western Conference wild card race. It is a tight race, folks. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up here for this edition of See the Light Sports, from See the Light Sports, I should say. NHL Detroit Red Wings update, episode number 15. Have a great day, everybody. Be kind to each other. Remember to see the light. Have a great day.